Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, good evening to all, or hello to the headlines of international news. After what happened on the side of the Poland, after all the oboba that the Poland, NATO, and the European Union are doing, Russia is breaking its silence. Russia has, through the Minister of Defense, comes to spit out these four truths: Poland, NATO, and Europe. And as if all this were not enough, the Belarus, therefore Belarus, ally key, traditional and constitutional even from Russia, came out of his silence to make a revelation that opens Pandora's box of several very dangerous hypotheses which converge towards the reversal of the situation. Yes. So what does the Minister of Russian Defense had to say, and what did Belarus do as a revelation? Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening between Poland and Russia is very, very serious. I will please share it as much as possible. Thank you. To follow this video conference until the end. To better understand current events, International Decrypted at 360°GR with the real information. That's what it's all about. Let's go in the depths. What is Moscow's official line? Sir? The Russian Defense Ministry has made an official statement. These are not simple statements. In this official press release made public on September 10th, 2025, just some time after what happened, the Russian Ministry of Defense had to say this: the strikes in question targeted only installations military personnel in Ukraine through Poland. Here is the first element that we can find in the press release. Official of the Russian Ministry of Defense, the strikes were aimed only Ukraine. Very well, but you know, for the past 3 years of conflict, more than 3 years of conflict, this kind of error or failure technique never arrived. For more than 3 years, Russia has always aimed, and Russian technology has so evolved that even NATO and Europe was astonished. Russia aims and it goes straight away. Why then this time Russian drones were found in Poland? What if Poland says that these are Russian drones? It is because they saw the marks of manufacturing and all that. That means that at this level, there is almost no doubt. These are Russian drones for now. How then these drones could have ended up there? Russia says this: the drone incursion. No, share the video conference with me. Yes, share it. Russia says this: the incursion of drones into space Polish airline is described as unintentional. So that was not the intention of the Russia to send drones to Poland. It was Ukraine that was targeted because that Ukraine is in conflict with the Russia. These are good rights. Now, how did the drones get found in Poland? Here's the big one question. We can say from the start, well, maybe it was due to a technical failure or else, and so on and so forth. So Moscow claims that she is ready to technical consultations with Warsaw. Russia says it is ready for technical consultations with the Poland. Let Poland stop to get agitated. She is ready for technical consultation with Poland. So much for examining the incident to see what really happened the past. The two will analyze together. So it is in good faith that Russia speaks. It's in a good voice because until proven otherwise, Russia knows that these are his drones, but this was not intentional. If it fell there, what happened? Has at the base, instead of calling NATO or such and such, let's try to examine C, because there is another hypothesis which was born. Some have started, many have commentators began to estimate that there would be a black hand behind this case, a way to provoke Poland and push Poland to enter directly in conflict with Russia. And when the Poland is angry and enters directly in the conflict with Russia, it means to say that NATO entered directly into conflict with Russia. Who would have interest in Poland entering into conflict with Russia? It's going to be necessarily Ukraine, which for several years trying to bring NATO in the confrontation. There is this hypothesis which is in progress to germinate. But let's go a little further into the depths. Let's see. I ask you to share once again the video conference. You have to share it as much as possible. So Moscow is legally covering itself. Moscow acknowledges the incursion, but described it as a technical accident. Moscow called it an accident technique to diffuse a response NATO. It's not out of fear. So that's what Moscow said. Russia as a whole. Now the Kremlin, by the voice of Dmitry Peskov, spoke about the Russian presidency. Peskov, Vladimir's spokesman Putin, reacted to the press. He said qualified the Polish accusations and Western claims of no foundation. He says that these accusations, there are no basis. According to him, the European Union and NATO accuse Russia of provocation every day, thus minimizing the matter. So he downplayed the matter. So the Kremlin trivializes the incident and seeks to dilute the seriousness of the violation of Polish airspace. But it is the revelation of Belarus that will spoil everything. Yes, you need to share the video conference, please. I'll see as much as possible of sharing because this matter is going far. Where NATO is doing a dangerous proposition to Poland, it's going far. So Belarus, therefore Belarus joins the dance. Belarus raises a technical hypothesis of the diversion. The statement of the authorities' Belarusian military is as follows. MCO affirms having followed the trajectory of several drones and believes that some could have been unintentionally diverted by electronic interference or failure. So Paris says that they followed the trajectory of the drones since there is military exercises which are being carried out in Poland. Poland has the tactical weapons that Russia, at least in Belarus, I was going to say, and Biorussia has tactical weapons that Russia has sent. And Belarus, which makes border, therefore always follows the movements. So the authorities say that they followed the trajectories of these drones, but they found that some drones were diverted, either by technical failure or by electronic jamming. Maybe it is Ukraine which sought to confuse the drones their way, and that the drones have lost the way to Ukraine and they are went to fall in Poland. So if that is the case, the other hypothesis that had been raised is starting to be there. Is it Ukraine which diverted drones to them involuntarily? Firstly or secondly, is it Ukraine which diverted drones to send them to Poland to grow that Poland will react? Big question mark. And so this is really the situation that introduces himself. We will come back with other video conferences to dissect the rest of the information we will receive. So thank you all. It was the voice of your humble servant, Samurai.